Over the past few months, people have been calling Erik Ten Hag to get sacked. After some very disappointing signings and some extremely poor results, many Man United fans have had enough, and they want him out. Since being appointed manager in the summer of 2022, Ten Hag has spent around £407 million on new signings at Man United. In that period, only Chelsea have spent more. Understandably, people are sick of these terrible performances and shockingly bad signings. They look at teams like Spurs, Arsenal, and Liverpool, who all have significantly lesser budget, and wonder why their team cannot produce the same results. Most football fans think Ten Hag has been a flop at United. After his hyped-up entrance into the club, after all the accolades he's won at Ajax prior to his Man United appointment, what if I told you Ten Hag is not a flop, and in fact has actually outperformed better than people think? You'd probably disagree. Well, hear me out. Let's take a look at why Man United chose Ten Hag as the replacement to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back in the summer of 2022. Ten Hag had been the manager for 4 clubs before taking on the role of Man United. Go Ahead Eagles, FC Bayern 2, FC Utrecht, and Ajax. In that time, Erik had managed over 430 games, and in those 430 games, won 8 trophies as a manager. The very first title of his career was with Bayern in 13-14, when he was the manager of Bayern Munich's second team. This is impressive, and when Man United signed the Dutchman, they thought they were in for the next Pep. Although they looked similar, the Man United fans did not receive instant progress with him at the wheel. At Ajax, Ten Hag achieved an impressive 2.31 points per game, gaining a reputation in European football as a manager with a lot of promise and a desirable appointment for many clubs across Europe. So, when Man United signed him, the fans were obviously filled with excitement as they finally thought things were about to change for the Red Devils. Infamously, Erik kicked off with a 2-1 home defeat to Brighton and Hove Albion back in August. The next weekend brought a humiliating 4-0 trouncing at the hands of Brentford. Instantly, the fans thought they were in for another shocking manager, but after he was able to make a few decent signings of his own, their look quickly changed. Here are all the signings Erik Ten Hag has made in his tenure at Man United. Tyrell Malacia, £15.7 million. Bought as a backup to injury-prone Luke Shaw. Christian Eriksen, a free transfer. When asked, Eriksen can be a great player for United, and with his experience, he shows a lot of quality. Lisandro Martinez, £56.7 million. A solid centre-back who's been great for them. Casemiro for £52 million. With the extremely experienced Brazilian joining the club, Man United have finally found a bit of leadership in the team. This was a great appointment, because leadership is exactly what they were lacking before Ten Hag came in. Antony, £85.6 million. The less I say about Antony, the better. Dubravka, Weghorst, Jack Butland, Sabitzer. Mason Mount for £44.1 million. Suffering from an injury, Mason Mount has struggled so far at United, yet to register a goal or assist in the Premier League for them, but we need to give him time. The same story again for Rasmus Haaland. They bought the promising Danish striker for £72 million. The hope is that he will not be sucked into the vortex of mediocrity that has engulfed so many new players of the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era. Johnny Evans, Amrabat, Sergio Reguilon. These are all players that Erik Ten Hag has signed in his tenure. Erik gets quite a lot of stick for signing bad players in his time at United and wasting a lot of money. I mean, when I look at the list, the only players that have been a definite flop is Antony. Man, I can't even justify Antony being a good signing, because he just ain't. For £85.6 million, Antony has been a huge flop and done absolutely nothing. Erik Ten Hag used to manage him at Ajax, but this was a terrible transfer. But all the other transfers I think have been quite good. Man, look at Casemiro for £52 million. That's a steal, and he seems to be getting better with age. Although he's injured at the minute and not playing this season, He was insane for them last season and an absolute anchor in midfield. Same as Lisandro Martinez. He's injured at the minute, but for £56 million, he's a solid center back, and he's been great considering they really struggled defensively for players. So I think it's a bit of a myth that Erik Ten Hag has only signed bad players. You may not believe me, but after 50 games in charge, Erik Ten Hag boasts the best win ratio of any Reds boss in history. 70% of games he won in his first 50 games. His initial 50-game record pales in comparison to the monumental tallies of Sir Alex Ferguson, who managed an outstanding 1,500 games with a 60% win rate, and Sir Matt Busby, who oversaw 1,140 games with a 50.53% win rate. It's important to note that at this juncture, no one is suggesting that Ten Hag's achievements rivals theirs. However, what we can definitely assert is that Ten Hag has outperformed any other manager in the early phase of their Man United tenure. To put this in perspective, Sir Alex Ferguson secured 22 victories in his first 50 games. Sir Matt Busby managed 26. In stark contrast, Erik Ten Hag boasts an impressive 35 wins. So I think people need to reconsider before calling Erik Ten Hag. Look at this stat. In Ten Hag's first 2 seasons as manager for United, he averaged 1.95 points per game. Let's compare this to 2 of the league's greatest managers at the minute. Mikel Arteta, he averaged 1.83 points per game in his first 2 seasons. And Jurgen Klopp, he averaged 1.8 points per game in his first 2 seasons. Now, I'm not saying that Erik Ten Hag is a brilliant and great manager and he's going to solve all Man United's problems. All I'm saying is that Erik Ten Hag needs to be a bit more respected for his time at Man United, and I think people are mistreating him as a manager. His output hasn't actually been that bad so far. I mean, he is competing in the best league in the world, and managers that are coming up like Ange Postecoglou and Unai Emery are very hard to battle against. I mean, week after week, there's a very tough team they have to face. I think people need to think twice before slandering Ten Hag, as Man United fans need to give him more time to build a squad. Man United fans have been known to be very ungrateful, and the Premier League is the best league in the world. You cannot just expect to win everything just because you're a historical club. To come here as an inexperienced manager, I would consider him not to be doing that badly. Let's see where Man United finish at the end of the season, and then we can have the conversation about if he needs the sack. But for now, I think the fans need to lay off him and give him time to build his team. We need to remember, he is competing with the best teams in the world, and that is no easy task. Rome was not built in a day. In my opinion, Erik Ten Hag is not a flop. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know what you guys think about this current, hot, controversial topic. Click here to see how Sean Dyche is building Everton up from the ground and turning them into prime Brazil. That's all I have for you in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.